I want to address one more question I didn't get a chance to address in the message, which is this really fair? If Jesus is the only way to God. And I want to unpack this whole concept of fairness, because I would agree that there's a lack of fairness in the world. You know, some people have more than others, and not everybody who works hard gets ahead. Not everybody who doesn't work hard struggles. Now, there is some sense in which hard work does make a difference and you reap what you do sow. That's all a part of the way God designed the world, but there still is unfairness in the system. And how do you reconcile that in your mind? Is that a God problem? Did God create the unfairness? And what has been super helpful for me to understand is that the unfairness in the system is a sin problem. It's not a God problem. So because sin entered into the world, there is injustice in our world. And God actually, through the cross, is working to right the wrongs in our world. That Christians should be the kind of people who bring reconciliation, bring restoration, bring redemption to the places that we go, because God changing us from the inside out. But what God does is God deals with the sin problem in our hearts and then rights the world through his followers, with us living out what he's doing in us. That's why for Christians and for followers of Jesus, our primary focus is not changing a political system. Our primary focus is the transformation of the human heart, because we know when humans are changed, they change things. And if sin's not dealt with, then the injustice of the world stays the same. So the lack of fairness in the system comes multiple facets. One, Adam and Eve sin in the garden. When they sin in the garden, sin entered into the world, death entered into the world, and death happens to all of us. Disease happens to all of us. Brokenness happens to all of us in different ways, different times, but we all deal with it, and it feels unfair at times. Sometimes the sin problem that we experience is because other people make choices and they harm us. Whether it's a spouse that decides they're going to leave you or abuses you, or somebody in your life mistreats you, and for whatever reason, they gossip about you, they slander you, they accuse you, and you experience injustice or lack of fairness. That is connected to sin. And even for ourselves, we experience sin and our own choices and the consequence of those choices, but it doesn't hit us all the same. My grandpa smoked 2 packs of cigarettes a day for a long period of time, and he died of lung cancer. There are other people who smoke 2 packs of cigarettes a day and never get cancer. It seems unjust, but the injustice is not a God problem. The injustice is a sin problem. And actually, God created a solution for the sin problem through the cross, that he's righting the wrongs. And Christians should be people who live to be reconciled back to God, but the cross was also horizontal to bring reconciliation to the world. So that has been really helpful for me to understand. There is a lack of fairness, but the lack of fairness is not a God problem. It's a sin problem. Love you guys. Hope you find this helpful. I know I am cruising through this, and it seems a little bit in our heads, but sometimes if we can get these answers in our head to understand the way God thinks, what Scripture teaches, it liberates us. Hope you find this helpful. Love you. Have a great day.